What if I told you that your hunger has almost nothing to do with willpower and everything to do with a war happening inside your brain right now? A war between two hormones you've probably never heard of, and the reason you feel like you could eat an entire fridge at 9 p.m. even though you just had dinner 2 hours ago is not because you're weak. It's because your body is literally engineering that feeling on purpose. And today I'm going to break down the real science of why you're hungry all the time, not the Instagram version, not the just drink more water version, the actual biology and psychology behind it. So let's start with the hormone that started this whole mess, ghrelin, often called the hunger hormone, which is produced mainly in your stomach and rises right before meals, spiking hard when your stomach is empty and dropping once you eat. But here's the twist most people don't know. Ghrelin isn't just about your stomach being empty, it's also trained by habit. So if you always eat lunch at 1 p.m., your ghrelin will spike like clockwork at 12:45, whether or not your body actually needs the fuel, which means a huge chunk of the hunger you feel every day isn't biological need. It's a conditioned response, your brain predicting food, because that's the pattern you built. And this is where psychology sneaks into what feels like pure biology. Because your environment, your schedule, even the smell of food on TV can trigger ghrelin release before your body has any real energy deficit. Now on the other side of this war is leptin, the hormone released by your fat cells that tells your brain, hey, we have enough stored energy, you can stop eating now. And in a perfect world, leptin and ghrelin balance each other out beautifully. But for a lot of people, especially those who've dieted aggressively, eaten highly processed foods for years, or dealt with chronic sleep deprivation, this system becomes dysfunctional, a condition researchers call leptin resistance, where your brain stops listening to leptin's signal even when your fat stores are completely full, so you can be sitting on plenty of stored energy and your brain still screams, feed me, which is brutal because it means the hunger feels completely real and completely urgent, even when your body doesn't actually need calories. And this is one of the biggest reasons people struggle on a cut, because when you're in a calorie deficit, ghrelin goes up and leptin goes down simultaneously. It's a hormonal one-two punch specifically designed by evolution to make you go find food. Because your body doesn't know the difference between I'm intentionally dieting for aesthetics and there's a famine happening. It just knows energy is coming in lower than it's going out and it panics. Now let's talk about sleep, because if you're not sleeping enough, you are basically guaranteeing you'll be hungrier the next day. Studies have shown that even one night of short sleep can raise ghrelin levels and lower leptin levels enough to significantly increase appetite and cravings, especially for high-carb, high-fat, hyperpalatable foods. Your tired brain isn't looking for a chicken breast and broccoli. It's looking for the fastest, most calorie-dense dopamine hit it can find, because sleep deprivation also impairs the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for impulse control and decision-making. So you're not just hungrier, you're also worse at resisting that hunger, which is a nightmare combination. And speaking of dopamine, this is where we get into the psychology side of things, because not all hunger is the same. There's homeostatic hunger, which is your body's genuine need for energy. And then there's hedonic hunger, which is your brain's desire for pleasure and reward, completely separate from actual energy need. Hedonic hunger is why you can be stuffed after a big meal and still find room for dessert. It's why stress, boredom, sadness, or even just watching a cooking video can make you crave food. You weren't thinking about 5 minutes ago, and food companies know this. Ultra-processed foods are specifically engineered to hit what researchers call the bliss point, the exact combination of sugar, fat, and salt that maximizes dopamine release without ever triggering your natural satiety signals. So you can eat an entire bag of chips and never feel truly full, because the food was designed to bypass the system that's supposed to tell you to stop. And this ties directly into another massive factor: protein and fiber intake. Because protein is by far the most satiating macronutrient, it takes longer to digest. It triggers stronger release of satiety hormones like peptide YY and GLP-1. And it keeps your blood sugar more stable, while a low-protein, high-refined carb diet does the opposite. It spikes your blood sugar fast, causes a fast insulin response, and then crashes just as quickly, leaving you hungry again within an hour or two. This blood sugar roller coaster is one of the most underrated reasons people feel constantly hungry, because they're eating foods that give a quick spike and an equally quick crash, tricking the brain into thinking it's starving again shortly after eating. Fiber works similarly by slowing digestion, feeding your gut bacteria, which by the way also communicate with your brain through the gut-brain axis and influence hunger signals, and adding physical bulk that stretches stomach receptors and sends "I'm full" signals to your hypothalamus. So if your diet is low in protein and fiber and high in refined carbs and liquid calories, you are fighting an uphill battle against your own biology every single day. Now let's bring this back to bodybuilding specifically, because if you're cutting for a show, a photo shoot, or just trying to get lean, you need to understand that some hunger is simply unavoidable. It's not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign your body is in a caloric deficit and responding exactly the way millions of years of evolution designed it to respond. The goal isn't to eliminate hunger completely. That's unrealistic and honestly counterproductive. The goal is to manage it intelligently, which means prioritizing high volume, high protein, high fiber foods that fill your stomach and stabilize blood sugar. Things like lean meats, egg whites, Greek yogurt, vegetables, and whole grains over calorie-dense, low-volume foods that leave you feeling empty. Despite the calories, it means respecting sleep as much as you respect your training program, because poor sleep will sabotage your hunger hormones. No matter how clean your diet is, it means managing stress, because cortisol, your primary stress hormone, has been shown to increase appetite and specifically increase cravings for high-calorie comfort foods, which is why stressful periods in life so often correlate with weight gain. It's not a coincidence, it's neuroendocrinology. And it also means understanding your own psychological relationship with food. Because if you're an emotional eater, if you eat out of boredom, if food has become your primary coping mechanism for stress or sadness, no amount of meal prepping is going to fully fix that. You have to address the behavioral pattern itself, which might mean finding other outlets for stress, building better sleep habits, or in some cases working with a professional who specializes in the psychology of eating behavior. Another factor worth mentioning is hydration, because thirst signals and hunger signals both originate in overlapping areas of the hypothalamus. And it's genuinely common for your brain to misinterpret mild dehydration as hunger, which is why something as simple as drinking a glass of water and waiting 15 minutes can sometimes eliminate a hunger craving entirely. And finally, let's talk about the diet history factor, because if you've done multiple aggressive crash diets in the past, your body may have adapted by permanently upregulating ghrelin production as a protective mechanism against future restriction. This is part of why so many people who yo-yo diet report feeling hungrier over time, even at the same calorie intake. Their hormonal baseline has literally shifted, which is one of the strongest arguments for sustainable, moderate deficits over extreme crash dieting. Because you're not just protecting your muscle mass and your metabolism, you're also protecting your hunger hormone baseline for the long term. So when you put all of this together, the ghrelin and leptin dance, the impact of sleep, the difference between homeostatic and hedonic hunger, the role of protein and fiber in satiety, the blood sugar roller coaster from refined carbs, the influence of cortisol and stress, the psychological patterns of emotional eating, the misread thirst signals, and the long-term hormonal effects of past dieting, you start to see that hunger is not a simple, one-dimensional feeling. It's a complex signal shaped by your hormones, your brain chemistry, your sleep, your stress levels, your food choices, and your past behavior, all working together or sometimes working against you. And once you understand that, you stop blaming yourself for feeling hungry and start actually managing the real variables that control it. Because you were never lacking willpower. You were just missing the science, and now you have it. So if this helped you understand your own body a little better, make sure you're eating enough protein today, get your sleep in tonight, and I'll see you in the next video.